Hello, my name is Robbie Ergang, and I'm in the teacher leadership program at Georgetown College with an endorsement in moderate to severe disabilities. And I'm posing a research question that applies to my school, the Providence School. That is, what do high school general education teachers know about collaborative teaching with special education students, and how does their knowledge impact their collaborative practices? So I am a teacher at the Providence School, which is an alternative school here in Jessamine County. When I look at our school population, we do have a high need of both social, emotional, and educational requirements, needs that those students all have. And so I wanted to see, are we helping our students in all areas of their education life, or are we maybe missing a piece within collaboration? And do our teachers understand what that looks like? And I do believe that these findings will have a potential to positively impact instruction at my school. So before I got started, I did a review of previous literature that was written, and what I found was that there were three main themes that were found in all pieces of literature. The first was that there was an increased communication between general educators and special educators. There was a need for that. There was a need for additional training for teachers, that was important for teachers to have, such as like professional developments and things like that. And then there was also a need for structured and specified time. So a time set aside for teachers to specifically work with their colleagues, with their collaborators. And so, in order to do this, I set up a survey, an interview, and observations. The survey and the interview gave me information about the participants, the teachers' heart and head knowledge, while the observations allowed me to see what the teachers were doing in their practice and how they were applying what they knew and what they felt to their actual education pedagogy. And so throughout that, I used data collection where I would take initial notes. And then as I was going back and going through recordings and things like that, I was able to color code and theme these systems to where I could identify common themes and try to triangulate the themes. And the purposes of that was so that the triangulation could generate findings that would answer the research question. I had six teachers within my school building that were my participants, and five out of six of those had a secondary master's degree in learning and behavior disorders, which was really important for me to know that our teachers have that education in the formal education in the special education realm. Our median teaching age was 4 years. There was some older, more experienced teachers, and there was some new teachers, but I wanted to get an average or a middle ground, and I didn't feel like a mean would suffice in that piece. So when I was coding, I found out that when I was coding the interviews, a main meta theme that came out within the within all of the interviews, I had that collaboration was fun and effective. Collaboration could happen in a lot of ways, and then collaboration didn't seem to be present in the classrooms. Within the surveys, I found two meta themes, two main things that transcended all of the surveys, and that was that collaboration both benefited the students but wasn't present in the building. And then finally, when I was observing, there were three main themes that were present within the observations. And the first one was students were engaged with the main teacher, that collaboration wasn't present within there, and then that the main teacher was providing the instruction. So overall, you can see that amongst all three, that collaboration not being present was a theme that transcended all of those. Um, the issue was that when I was looking at the conclusion, when I found that out, and it did connect to additional literature that was found saying that general educators and collaborative teachers didn't interact. Um, so when that happened, it did not necessarily answer my research question. It gave me some insight into what was there, but it never actually answered what those teachers knew and how they were using it because collaboration wasn't wasn't present. And so I found that the teachers as a whole had a very good head and heart knowledge, but in their actual teaching practices, they weren't providing clear and effective collaboration. And so going forward, I do have two recommendations. And the first is that I recommend providing intentional and direct trainings that occur in the school with all the parties involved in the collaborative classroom present. So that would be very, very specific professional development for the Providence School and what the expectation is for collaboration in the classroom. That would be specific and beneficial to those teachers. And the other recommendation I have is the need to be intentional with committing specific time to collaboration before and after the collaborative classroom lesson. This could be similar planning periods or designated meeting times before or after. And those could be administratively assigned or could be given the freedom within that. However, this this research and this research gives a good picture, a clear picture, but I do believe that future research could be used on collaborative teaching before and after some specified training that was directed at the school. And I think if you ran the same study following, that you would get different results once teachers as a whole knew what was expected in the classroom as a whole. Here's my references, and you've seen some of them listed within the literature review and whatnot. But I would love to thank you for listening to this presentation. And if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'd love to respond.